Welcome to the Calyrex Game Corner's Pokemon D&D campaign, featuring Cindy, a young vagabond from the Hoenn region with pyromaniac tendencies, Gimli, a stocky, burly miner from Sinnoh looking for his lost son, Elodie, an enthusiastic foodie and baker from Kalos, and Schmidt, an enigmatic man from Johto with a duck. My name is Rich and I'm the Game Master, and this is Dunsparce and Drampa. After a whimsical escapade in efforts to retrieve the missing Paco Pokemon and magical portal creating Hoopa Ring, Elodie reveals her true identity to Brandon, the Dewford Town police officer, and returns to confinement. Sarah, the intoxicated individual that she impersonated, is taken from the cell to her assigned boarding, and Gimli, Elodie, and Cindy are in the Dewford Town jail with only a Noctowl. Patricia, who is hovering nearby outside the jail, receives word from Gimli to locate Schmidt and takes off. Our three adventurers stand huddled in a small town's unattended prison around a 7-layer birthday cake that reads, "Happy Birthday, Gregory," with so many sparkling candles aflame it is almost certainly a safety hazard. It is Cindy's birthday, the 16th day of the 9th month, at approximately 1:30 a.m. What will the Paco do?
Let's dig in.
Candles before we burn down the church.
Okay, yeah. Maybe make a wish, yeah, for sure.
Hear me out. We eat the candles.
Gain fire powers. Destroy the town.
I already have fire powers.
That's true.
So why haven't you destroyed the town yet? Real questions.
We already destroyed part of it.
One house.
And our boat.
Allegedly. Sorry.
Allegedly.
In case Noctowl was listening.
Allegedly. Yeah, listen to my above table chat.
Yeah. How do you go about eating it? I usually don't care about food rolls, but this is actually a bit of a challenge, so I'm kind of curious
Should
as
I
to
roll
what
to
you're
blow
doing.
out the candles?
Sure, it's almost a bonfire, so it's gonna be like a DC 19 con check.
Oh crap.
Oh, great. I'm gonna die.
Could this be a survival roll?
Richie, the only way that I could get a 19
It's a
is
crit.
if I roll a nat 20.
Yeah, so do it. Easy.
Not that hard.
I got a 14, so 14 minus 1 is 13.
Yeah. Cindy takes a big inhale and blows out the candles, and they don't fully go out. They're those like crazy sparklers that are like trick candles, you know, like they're crazy. This thing is
It's
almost
that like big candle that like opens up and sings and spins.
Oh, sure, yeah. Let's say it's got like 5 of those. It's excessive. The truth of the matter is that while it is a generous gesture from Hoopa is a bit of a prankster. So, like, while it is nice, it is still it's still a challenge to overcome. So, curious as to what you guys are thinking about here.
We should offer Brandon some cake.
Isn't he unconscious?
Brandon
he
left.
Brendan,
with
yeah,
Sarah.
Brendan left.
Brandon left. Right. I'm thinking
The other
of...
guy left too.
Yeah.
Am I gonna get help
mean, then-
blowing these candles out?
The Noctowl could probably help you blowing in candles out.
Who?
Who? True. Yeah, I mean, do whatever you want to do. We
With my deep connection with this Noctowl.
mhm.
No.
I asked
Mhm.
him to help me blow out the
Okay, roll a Pokemon handling, please.
dirty 21.
That's pretty dang good.
Really good.
Noctowl was like kind of just staring into space. Jury's out on whether or not it was like actually sleeping or not. But you rolled pretty high. Noctowl acknowledges what you said and just standing atop its perch just begins flapping its wings really hard and is creating a bit of a gust. In fact, to give me DC 10 dexterity checks all around.
What the fuck?
Oh no.
15.
19.
Okay, Sandy?
14.
14. Great. Everyone passes. It's like pretty violently windy. You're getting a taste of that. Like this Noctowl has pretty relative power. It's a pretty powerful flying type. It flaps its wings and it, actually I need to roll for it. Yep. Flaps its wings. Maybe a little too forcefully over and over again, creates some gusts, and the air whistles throughout the barred windows and jail doors. And all the candles go out. Some of the cake is displaced, and it is splattered on the floor and the wall in Elodie's cell. It is not all the cake by any means, but some of the frosting just kind of got whipped around.
I was about to ask, I'm like, is there a DC 10 save on the cake?
That
was a joke. You don't have to do it.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm eating a lot of sugar. There's going to be a lot of joke.
Inanimate objects they do have armor classes and hit points, but they don't necessarily make rolls. Yeah, there you go. One problem solved. You guys just gonna dig in just handfuls of cake?
I try to ask Hoopa through the Hoopa ring if he wants any cake.
Oh, roll a d20. 12. Elodie, is it on your wrist or is it still on the ground?
I probably picked it up.
Okay. Cindy whispers this or says it aloud into the bracelet on your wrist, and there is no response.
I mean, I can put it out for her if she wants to try again, but
sounds like his loss, honestly.
True.
You guys just gonna go at it?
Sure.
Let's do it.
What is your goal? Are you just eating till you're satiated, or are you trying to remove this cake from existence?
Yes.
I want that cake obliterated.
I mean, I'm asking. It's a huge cake. There's
There's
three of you.
three of us.
Yeah.
How many layers did you say it was?
7.
That's like
So that's 2 1/3 layer per person.
Yeah, it's a lot of cake.
We're dividing it by layers?
it's probably a bad idea because it's probably not even.
No.
Yeah, it's not a cylinder. I will tell you that.
Okay, we split the whole big cake into thirds and have at it.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just.
Sure. This is. It might seem like a dumb question, but I do honestly want to know if you are trying to eat the whole thing or not.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
let's
like
do
to
it.
Try. But
Yeah,
I
let's
also
try.
know going into it that we might not succeed, and that's okay.
You do acknowledge that this requires Constitution saves. There's 3 of you. This is a lot of cake. Let me do some research. Actually,
Let me.
Well,
crunch
we have
the
to consider
numbers.
like
I do.
Age,
I want this to be a fair check.
type, like
Thick, dude.
how much cake are we typically eating in our lives? We've got a child. That's probably pretty
And
good.
she's gonna
She's
throw
growing.
up.
Probably, but that's why I'm calculating this. Hold on.
If you throw up, that leaves room for more cake.
Oh God.
That's how you win a keg race, baby.
Oh
Sprat.
shit, guys. The base
I'm scared.
layer, the bottom layer has approximately 12,000 calories. So
Fuck yes.
the cakes get smaller on their way up. So let me
Right.
math this out. Yeah, guys, this is
We'll probably start at the top down.
This
That makes
is
more sense.
for all of you to finish it. There are 3 of you, so that helps. This is a DC 18 Constitution save.
No problem.
Gimli's got this, I believe.
If
Oh,
you-
jeez.
I got a 3.
Yeah,
which minus
great.
1 is a 2.
18.
Oh no way!
no. I got a 5.
Oh shit!
Oh no, sorry. I'm wrong. I was wrong. I got a 3. I got
Okay.
a 3.
Gimli chomps a clean third of this massive cake, consuming probably about 13,000 calories. Kind of fucked up. The rest of you hardly get into one layer. You do not even eat one whole regular sized cake. And you feel incredibly bad. Did you both end up with a dirty 3?
No, mine was a 3 on the die. That's a 2 for
Okay,
me.
and Elodie has a dirty 3?
Yeah.
Okay, each of you roll a d12.
That's an 8.
Okay.
11.
Okay. How much HP do you have, Elodie?
I have 9.
Yeah, great. Elodie knocks herself unconscious from consuming cake as she shoves her face and vomits and falls to the ground. Cindy takes the amount of damage that she rolled, and she also has a little throw up moment and feels really, really gross. I don't know how you guys want to do this situation.
Well, I have 3 HP left. And throwing up, apparently.
Yeah, you're done now, but it's hurt and it sucked, and it's kind of gross. Like, Elodie's cell is fucking terrible. It's so bad.
And cake and vomit and sparkler.
Oh, it's 1,600 calories for a third of this cake.
1,600, not 16,000?
Well, what did you say the base was? 1,200?
No, 12,000.
12,000.
Oh, then 16,000. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking. Gimli chomps it down, dude. He's fine. It's the Sinnoh genes. You know, he's
The
good.
burly miner.
I will just say
Hell,
for
man.
His calories to get to work.
yeah, I'll say for flavor that you all like finish eating in quotes at the same time. So Gimli's just chomping
That's
it,
also accurate. Yeah.
and Cindy and Elodie are going slowly, and they just get destroyed. They tried their best, but
Cindy's like crying. The cake what?
and Elodie's out. I don't know.
We can't heal her.
Hold on. Is this a death save situation? I'm trying to figure this out.
I mean, she has time to rest. Like we could put her on like
She's stable. No, this
It's
isn't
the most ironic death Elodie could have.
yeah.
no, we set her up on her bed so she can sleep it off and have a long rest.
Yeah, this
And
is
then that covers it. That fixes it.
the scenario is too neutral to have it be a death save situation, but she's not well.
Yeah, because isn't death saves like if you like don't have time or something? I don't know.
Yeah, if you're not stable and like you clearly
Right.
have people who can stabilize you.
Yeah,
so
and you're propped up on your bed, so you're stable.
you're fine.
I'm literally fine.
That
She's
would
in
be
the recovery position so she doesn't choke on her own vomit.
that would be the funniest character death,
Right.
actually.
That's what I'm literally saying. Is like
Yeah.
funniest. The baker dies from cake.
Yeah.
Like
Top tier.
Hope you got your new sheet ready. No.
Yeah.
Elodie will not perish at this time. It is not her time yet. Yeah, do you intend to do anything about this mess, or is everyone just going to try and go to bed?
That was great.
I will offer a DC 15 medicine check for Gimli and Cindy to restore 1 hit point to Elodie.
I got it.
Okay, cool. Elodie has consciousness, feels real bad, but she's present if she wants to participate in anything that isn't just going to bed.
Good.
Good.
We need a long
Good,
rest
good.
for the next day.
Great.
well,
I don't know. I'm doing good.
we're not gonna like clean the mess at all, or
No. It's not myself.
We can offer the cake to bribe the police officers in the morning.
Cake all
they
over the
come in
wall.
and they just vomit.
Yeah, there's just vomit everywhere. You
What
want
are we gonna
some?
clean it up with? There's nothing here.
Do you want some cake? It's my birthday.
Wow. Okay. So just confirming the plan is to slumber.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't know what else to do.
I don't know if Gimli's feeling any way that I would. I don't think I could sleep. So
Yeah.
I finished my cake as well, and I'm woo.
Okay.
We're wooing.
Define wooing. What does this mean? You're trying to do something?
Definitely. I don't think I could sleep if I ate that much cake.
Okay.
It's
You're gonna get a
16,000
plastic
calories of
spoon
cake.
and dig a tunnel out of the jail cell.
Ooh.
If
Now we're just
anything,
gonna start working out. I have to work out the
Sticky.
calories. I'm just gonna start like doing push-ups and pull-ups on my cell door.
Okay.
And
okay, it's just immediate burn the calories.
yeah,
Okay.
we're working through it.
That's very funny.
We're carb loading, baby.
I will request each of you to roll a d4. This d4 is the number of hours cumulatively between you all that it will be until the cops return to work. It is currently 1 a.m., so who knows what their schedule is. So each of you add up your d4 results.
3.
3.
3.
You are
What?
very
Nine.
lucky.
Let's go 3s again. We're back.
All
Yeah.
threes gives you 9 hours of rest, which is 1 hour more than is needed for a long rest. So, thankfully, based on your rolls, Elodie and Cindy do get to fully recover all their hit points and all their stuff, which is very important for this situation. Gimli, do you intend to stay up and work out and shit?
I would say for approximately one of those dice
For 1
rolls. So
hour,
let's-
okay.
Yeah,
Give me just a strength roll.
18.
Great. Yeah, you and your 18s today. This makes me curious if there's anything like this in Gimli's lore or something, that he just consumes an ungodly
Cake
amount of
eating.
sweets and then just like
Just-
fucking
well, normally it's carb load and get in the mines.
yeah, this is probably the most like home that Gimli's felt in a while.
Eat 10,000 calories in the mess and then go to the mines.
Great. Yeah. If that's the case, we will time skip. I do require a D100 roll from Elodie.
9.
That's very low. Regardless of your result, I wouldn't tell you what was going to happen because
Is it a D100 roll?
yes. And you're just based on last session.
It
This
was-
is a 9 and not a 90, correct?
It was a 9 and a 0-0.
Yep, that is a 9.
That is, in fact, a 9. Great.
Good job, folks.
To your knowledge, nothing happens. 9 hours pass. It must be a weekend or something because no one enters the jail, the holding, until about 10 a.m. And the person who enters is someone you saw in passing. They have, it seems like their ranking is perhaps higher than Brandon's or Eric's. They are more decorated on their uniform. She has some like neon purple hair that she has tucked behind a uniform hat. And she is carrying a bag, a large kind of sack of what is presumably everyone's belongings that Brandon shoveled in earlier. She has one Ultra Ball at her belt. And she has a little badge, or a name tag, I should say, on her lapel, on her chest, that says, Chief of Police Delaney. She says, all right, everyone, get up. What the hell? And she looks at the chaos that has been wrought in Elodie's cell. There is a 2/3 unfinished giant birthday cake and candles strewn about. There's 2 piles of vomit on the floor, and Knocked Owl's just sleeping on the perch. She she stomps her boot and she says, rise and shine, everyone. I'm going to need someone to explain this to me.
I will not be speaking without my lawyer present.
Yeah, I think that's the best stance to take.
Oh my god.
Speaking without my lawyer.
I'm going to plead the 5th to not self-incriminate.
Delaney looks, I don't know the word. She really wants information, but you're not wrong. And she says,
some cake?
do you ask that?
Yeah.
Roll a persuasion.
16?
16.
She says, I think I'm good, but I appreciate the offer. Delaney says, well, good news. Your lawyer, your representative, Clementine Sawyer, should be here in just a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to get in here and introduce myself and let you know that I'll be conducting investigations today, just fact-finding interrogations, nothing more than that. When your lawyer arrives, we will begin. I do not understand the condition of these cells, but for the moment, since I am here, I will return and let you out in a moment, and we will move to the interrogation process. Give me one moment. And she sets the bag down, and she steps out, presumably to an office or something to prepare. Is there any sort of thing that you do while she is out, or are you patiently waiting?
Was it just her who came in? Like, is there anyone else like watching us or something?
To your knowledge.
No.
Knocked Owl is there. Knocked Owl is sleeping. It is the morning.
So if we could get a mop, I could clean this up.
Did you say that?
Yeah.
Okay. Not heard, unfortunately.
Ah, what a shame. Well, guess not. That's their problem then.
Yeah. A few moments pass, and by that, like a minute or two, and you hear the sound of people entering the small little police station, city hall, multi-purpose little area. You hear the sound of 2 different pairs of footsteps, and Delaney returns to the cell with Clementine Sawyer, who you haven't seen in a while. He looks around and like he's got a big smile on his face as he's walking in, and then he sees the scene and he immediately turns to kind of confusion. This kind of very wide man with a big cowboy hat says, it's good to see you all, but we'll save it for later. And Warden Delaney begins to approach each of your cells and turns the key to unlock them, despite the fact they may already be unlocked.
Or broken.
Or I don't think any of them are broken.
I think
they were just
I don't think any of them are.
They were all unlocked.
They're all
Only my
unlocked.
handcuff is broken.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She is going to make 3 high intensity rolls to see if she notices that any of your cells were in fact unlocked. And she rolled below 10 for all of them. Very good. She thinks that she unlocks all of your cells. And she stands back and she says, with your attorney present, this is how it's going to go. We're going to take you into the other room, ask you a few questions, one at a time. Clementine will be there the whole time. He's very familiar with this procedure. And we will just be collecting information from you all. So whoever would like to volunteer to go first.
Birthday, I want to go first.
Okay, with
Don't
that.
we get to talk to our lawyer before we end up in interrogation, or are we just being thrown into it?
Are you asking this to Delaney?
Yes.
I guess.
she says, well, I suppose if you have things to talk about, that's fair. You haven't met. They just arrived. Very well. I'll give you some time. And Delaney steps out. Cindy, roll a perception check.
The 7.
Okay. You don't particularly notice anything.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Delaney steps out, and Clementine Sawyer is there, and he kind of sighs, and he says, well, it's great to see all of you again. I am very curious about what the situation is with this cake, but that's none of my business. Do we have some questions? Is there anything we want to talk about before this interrogation begins?
I think it would be a good idea just to give you a breakdown so you understand our situation, and then as we go to answer questions, we'll focus on your advisement. Does that make sense?
Clementine says, yeah, I would appreciate to be filled in, absolutely, but to be completely clear with you all, I cannot be answering your questions on your behalf in this particular stage of this investigation, if that makes sense.
Oh, for sure.
He says, very well. Tell me what I need to know. And it's up to you if you want to RP this or not.
Yeah. So,
All right,
essentially...
we were in the ocean, on a boat.
Right.
Riding a horde of Corsola. As you do, you know.
He's taking notes.
And Schmidt found a child among the Corsola.
We rescued the child from the ocean, and he told us that he was from... he was visiting Dewford, his aunt and uncle in Dewford. That he got lost out in the ocean while playing with some ghost-type Pokemon. And we thought, So I have this Hoopa ring bracelet, and I show him the Hoopa ring. And it can open portals if to a place that you've been to. So we thought to get this child home faster, that we could give the Hoopa ring to the child and tell him to envision Dewford. And the child, he did do that. We credit where credit's due. He just also envisioned his bedroom. So when he tossed the Hoopa ring, the portal opened to his bedroom, and then the boat and a lot of Corsola went through it and crashed into the house.
Clementine is continuing notes, and he gets a little piqued. His interest is piqued at this moment. He asks to Elodie, wait, 1 second, this Hoopa ring that you're describing, is this something that they've confiscated here?
No, I still have it. And show it.
Clementine says, if you bring this up as part of your questioning, they're going to take it. I hope you are aware of this.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if we should bring it up in questioning.
Clementine sighs a little bit, and he says, are you asking me and a lot of you to be intentionally dishonest in the face of the law?
I mean, we can still blame Hoopa. We don't have to say that we possess a Hoopa ring so that we can open up portals whenever.
Exactly. We can say there was a Hoopa ring. Yeah, there was a Hoopa ring. Like, we don't...
Or there was a Hoopa.
Right.
Hoopa brought the cake here. We didn't ask for cake. Hoopa showed up with cake because it's my birthday.
Well,
Cindy is convinced that is what happened.
Mm-hmm. It's not too far from the truth. Give me, I guess, both of you persuasion rolls.
Yeah, personally, I wouldn't have mentioned the ring, but that was
19.
your choice.
Well,
wait, he's a lawyer. We have to tell him the truth.
No, you don't.
Oh.
You can tell him whatever you want. You can't. He's another person, Grace. You can just lie to him, too. Like, he's just a guy. We tell him, like, yeah, he was playing with ghost types, and then I was like, okay, cool. And then he said, we use this ring to open up the portal. I was like, fuck. All right. Well.
What was your roll, Cindy?
12.
Okay. Elodie's 19 plus your kind of average 12 is enough that Clementine is willing to fib on your behalf. He is not going to...
It's more of an omission than like a direct...
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, he's not going to say that something happened that didn't, but he's willing to work with you all to get the best version of your story, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, so he nods and he says, okay, well, again, I just want to be perfectly clear. that if this magical ring that you say you have is part of your defense, it is likely going to be confiscated, and if it is determined that it is the source of this crime, that you're probably not going to get it back.
Understood.
He says
something that we could bring up in, I don't know if it'll come up in the interrogation, but like, we are the Quacko Paco. We saved Lava Ridge from a volcano. We can help rebuild the house and restore what we can of the town to the best of our abilities.
Clementine says, well, I haven't worked in these small town courts very often, so I'm not sure what their expectations are. I do understand that some sort of reparation for repairing the house would be an expectation if you are found guilty. That is definitely to be expected. Regarding
whether we're found guilty or not,
I think we're
we
willing
want to
either
help.
way to provide that, because regardless if it's guilt on our fault or an accident, it's still devastating.
Right.
And we want to help where we can.
Right, yeah.
Clementine
That's our
nods
thing.
and he says, well, that's good that you're willing, because you're probably going to need to participate in some way.
Right.
Regarding your previous actions, unfortunately, those don't exempt you from new crimes or new charges. Previous acts of heroism will not help your case,
Yes.
but it's a good effort.
Yes. That's it. He said, we're not above the law, dear.
Clementine says, all right, I think I got a pretty good gist. I'll find out more as each of you get questions. Is there anything else you think that I should know?
No, I think that's all the details.
He asks one more question. He asks, before you all go in individually, is there anything that you would like to speak alone amongst yourselves to corroborate before you step in?
I mean, do we all feel comfortable? Like, that's the story we're sticking with, right? Like, we're
Are
talking.
we saying
Besides the
Hoopa
ring
did it?
part,
Hoopa
Do
the
we-
being did it?
well, it's like more of a
Or-
question: do we say Hoopa, or was it the ghosts, or was it we don't really know? We
Oh,
just
we don't know.
Yeah.
Like the portal appeared. We don't know how it happened.
Okay.
Situation, because that's true. We don't know how it
We're
happens.
leaning,
like we don't
we're
know how it
leaning
works.
on ghosties.
Yeah, we
from
don't
the kid,
actually know.
Or
No,
Sure.
not or.
okay.
There's no or. There's
Okay.
no or. we a portal opened. We are here. That's it.
Okay. With the kid who was
That's
playing
all we
with
know.
ghosts.
Right. Exactly.
Got it.
We do know that.
Got
Yeah, for
it.
sure.
Great. Is this all the discussion you'd like to have?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sure.
Hello.
Hello.
Sound about all right.
You know, she's a kid though, so like if she says something crazy, we can just be like, she's a child. Be like, what are you gonna do? Like they say crazy things.
I just wish you didn't mention the ring to Clementine.
You know,
I don't think we
if
needed to do that.
I thought, you know, if we mention it, then he can help us like have the best.
I just feel
defense.
like we knew what we needed to say.
I
It
guess
didn't-
that's true.
The information provided to him, I don't think really changed anything. So it's like
I guess that's true. Yeah. That's fair.
it's fine though. It'll be all right. I'll let Lizzie hang out with him for a little while. She's been in the box for a minute, so
Yeah. Hopefully we get our Pokemon back soon.
I think we will after this whole thing is said and done. And I'm sure Clementine wouldn't mind a nice chuckle session. So hope Schmidt's okay. That's what I'm really concerned.
That's yeah.
We can fix a house. Like we stopped the volcanic eruption. I think we can build a house. I've built a handful of houses already before, so it is what it is. We can definitely
Yeah.
rebuild and restructure. I think it'll be fine, but
I think
it's just
I
a
think
lot.
Schmidt will be okay.
We just got a lot more important things to deal with.
That's
not to
truly
say
what
that-
it is.
Not to say that this is just like, well, what an inconvenience, but I mean,
Like truly, it's like
we're worried
not
about the world
caught up in
here,
this.
and like now we're in jail because of some silliness. I think we should have been more careful with that ring, dear.
You know, I realize that now. I think it's an important tool.
It's very
Maybe we think through our choices sometimes.
Hello.
Hello.
Chief Delaney knocks on the door and receives Clementine Sawyer and yourself, and she kind of peeks in and she says, are you all ready?
Yes.
Okay. She escorts you and Clementine to a room that is just right, like this building is tiny. It's just like the next door on the right. It's a pretty bare bones room. There's a single lamp hanging from the ceiling. There's a large rectangular mirror on the far wall. There are 2 chairs on one side of a metal table and 1 chair at the other. Delaney sits at the side where there's one single chair. And in the corner of this room, there is an individual, a man wearing a brown trench coat, who is wearing a fedora, and his face is somewhat obscured, and he's holding a folder. He seems that he's involved in this questioning in some way. Delaney asks that you take a seat. Do you do so?
Sure.
Delaney says, very well, let's begin. We'll make it fast. Delaney asks, all right, first off, Cindy, what's your name?
Cindy.
She reviews a folder that she has that has seemingly some information on it that pertains to you. And she nods and she understands that this is just what you go by. She asks, what is your home city and region?
I was told yesterday that it was a Mauville address, but the Berry Master's Berry Farm is where I grew up.
She takes out her pen and she scribbles, and she makes note that Mauville City is in fact the address, but Route 123 is probably more accurate because she's familiar with the location of the berry farm. She then asks, how did you meet Elodie, Gimli, and Schmidt?
So we were at the Lily Cove Festival, and we met in the chaos of the terrorist attack that happened there, and we helped restore Kmart, or K's stand, in Lily Cove because he lost his beloved Pichu Pablo. So we went and rescued Pablo as a group, and we kind of have been hanging out since.
Delaney nods and scribbles inside this file that seems to pertain to you. She continues, why do you all travel together?
Well, my grandparents got taken in the attack, so I really don't have other adults aside from them looking after me. So, yeah.
Delaney,
I can't speak for anybody else, but I'm just a loose child otherwise.
Delaney doesn't express any particular emotion. Take some notes. She says, we've surveyed the Pokemon registered to your trainer ID. Is your Ninetales Soul Eater your most powerful?
If not, Cookie might be. But they are both very powerful.
Delaney takes note. She asks, what's your ambition as a trainer?
I mean, I'd like to beat a few more of the gyms. I have a couple gym badges. And what's his face? The fire type gym. He said that I could be a trainer at the gym maybe one day. So I was thinking that maybe after I get some more gym badges, I could go and be a trainer at the fire type gym.
Clementine gives a kind of a proud look, a proud little smile next to you. And Delaney continues to take notes. She asks, regarding this incident that we're questioning you about, what caused it?
I don't know, man.
You don't have to go into explicit detail if you don't want. You can just say the story that you discussed with the other two.
There we were on the ocean, riding on a horde of Corsola, because, you know, the warmer temperatures and the Corsola problem. Mm-hmm. So we were actually on a horde of Corsola. And then we found a child in the middle of the ocean. Actually, Schmidt found the child. And we put the child on the ship. The child told us he was playing with some voodoo ghosty Pokemon. And then, boom! We were in his house.
Delaney says, interesting, very well, thank you. When the incident occurred, where were you intending on traveling?
We were on our way to Duford.
Very well.
So we were planning to come here, just, you know, not into a house was the original plan, but...
She says, understood. This child that you're mentioning, his name is Alex Carpenter. How did you meet him?
He was on an island in the ocean. He was about to be trampled by the horde of Corsola we were riding.
She says, very well. What did Alex tell you when you met?
That he was playing with ghosty Pokemon, and he found himself in the ocean. On, I guess, a tiny island?
Delaney asks, do you have any relationships with the Carpenter family?
No. Not that I know of.
We
just found a lost kid.
Great. It is at this time that she procures the bag that everyone's belongings are in. And she pulls out what is distinctly your belongings, and she says, this is your bag, correct?
Yes.
Now roll for me a D20. Sorry, D12. D12.
8.
Okay. This woman pulls out the Atlas Stone. Delaney says, "Can you tell me a little bit about this?"
It's rock.
Roll persuasion, deception. It's not very high, but I do need to have it.
9.
9. She says, "It looks pretty old, pretty dated. Where did you find it?"
It was given to me by an old friend.
Okay.
On her deathbed. So it's very important to me, even though it's just a rock.
It is at this moment that the man sitting in the corner stands up, and he hands a different folder to Delaney. Delaney looks at it and looks at the man and whispers some things. Roll a perception.
They're not taking my Atlas Stone. I will punch a police officer. Dirty 20.
That's great. You can tell that as this man hands Delaney the folder, she says, "Oh, this is relevant to to your case?" And the man just nods. He doesn't speak. And Delaney kind of looks like, "Oh, very well." She sets the Atlas Stone back in the bag, and she flips through a new folder, which has some information on it. You're welcome to roll another perception check to see if you can discern anything that's in this folder.
Oh, that's a 19.
19. That's very good. You can distinctly see pictures of your grandparents, pictures of your parents, and pictures of you, as well as the names of all of them, and just a bunch of words, whole bunch of words.
Okay.
Delaney says, "I just have a few more questions."
Okay.
It says here you were raised by your grandparents. Can you confirm that the names of your biological parents are River and Beckett?
Yeah.
Delaney says, "You told me earlier, but I just want to confirm your grandparents went missing during the terrorist attack at the Lily Cove City Summer Festival. Is that correct?"
Yes.
Delaney asks, "What can you tell me about your parents?"
They were a part of Team Aqua? Is that the name of it?
Yeah, that is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. They were members of Team Aqua, which is why I was raised by my grandparents. So obviously being involved in criminal organizations is not the ideal place to be bringing up a child. After that, I don't really know a whole lot about what they're up to.
Delaney asks, "Do you know of their whereabouts and or their current condition?"
Not really. We've been seeing, in our travels around Hoenn, we've been seeing some, graffiti that might be them, but, I mean, it could just be, my bias knowing them, an R and a B, and just assuming it's them, but there's been some, Team Aqua graffiti in various places around Hoenn, but I don't know if it's them specifically or where they are currently.
Delaney says, "Okay, very well. Just a couple more questions for you." And she turns the page in the folder. This one has a lot of photos of people and items. Roll another perception check.
12?
12, okay. You only recognize one particular image, and it is a headshot of someone that you know, not like a mugshot, but just like their face on a professional background. And Delaney asks, "Do you know someone by the name of Symmetra Redtree?"
Yeah. Miss Sam.
Delaney says, "Sam, okay, do you know where they are?"
No.
Delaney
The last
asks.
time we saw her was in Meteor Falls.
She writes this down.
When Deoxys attacked. And we saved the world from Deoxys. And she was injured pretty badly, and I believe one of her Pokemon teleported her, presumably somewhere safe. But it did not look good. She was not doing too hot.
Roll a charisma.
+2, that is a 21.
Okay, that's very high. Delaney is not fully convinced of the stories you are telling because of your age. She thinks that either, one, you are telling the truth, or two, you're just a very good storyteller and you're imagining things. But she decides not to press further because she's going to be speaking to more people. Is at this moment that Clementine speaks up. He says, "Listen, is this relevant to the case at hand?" And the man in the corner pulls something out of his jacket and flashes like a bifold wallet that descends vertically downwards. and roll a perception check. Or sorry, investigation actually.
12.
12. You don't see any details. You just recognize it's like a police or government like logo within this bifold. And Clementine takes a deep breath and he says, "Very well." With all that being said, Delaney says, "Well, that's all the questions I have for you. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll follow up when we're done with everyone else."
When will I be getting my stuff back?
Delaney says, "Well, you're a sweet girl. Depending on what you need, I might be able to have it for you right now."
I really just want Solely. We've been partners for like forever. I raised her from an egg. And she's just very comforting to have because, like, this is scary. Like, I've never been in jail before. And I just want the comfort of my partner.
Okay, charisma check.
Please. Okay. Do 17.
Yeah. Delaney likes you, and she says, "Very well." And she grabs a Pokeball, and she asks you, "Is this Soli's?" And you would recognize that it is. And she grabs the Ultra Ball that's at her belt, and she says, "We're understaffed today, so my partner is going to just have to keep an eye on you. Just hope you understand." And
Fine.
Yes?
I said that's fine.
She opens her Ultra Ball, and out comes a Pokemon that looks strangely like the 7-layer cake that you consumed the night prior. It is a feminine Pokemon that appears to be wearing like a conical dress. That is just what its body is. It's all black and white. It has kind of a gothic look to it. And as it exits the Pokeball, it makes kind of like a chime sound, like, and it stands about as tall as a person, and it stares at you very intently, and it is intending to follow you out. You are given Soli's Pokeball. And Clementine gets up, and you are... Sorry?
I let Solely out just to, like, walk with me.
Okay, sure. Yeah, there's limited room in this particular interrogation room, but...
I guess in the hallway.
No, yeah, it's fine. Solely comes down. Solely is very happy to see you. You, being Cindy and Solely, and this Gothitelle and Clementine walk back to the jail, and we will join them in there.
Oh, you're back.
What you all see... returning to the room is more characters, more figures than left. Cindy is returning with Solely outside of her Pokeball. Clementine Sawyer, and just standing at the threshold of the door is a Pokemon that has a feminine shape, appears to be wearing like a conical black and white dress, looks like it has makeup on, and has a very piercing kind of gaze and kind of a gothic expression. And it's standing at the doorway, and Clementine says, "Well, whoever's ready can go next."
You can go next, Elodie.
Okay, yeah, I'm good to go.
Okay. You rendezvous with Clementine, and Gothitelle continues to stand in the doorway, just watching kind of carefully into the cells. And with that being said, let's go to the room.
Why is there suddenly a Gothitelle here now?
Oh, because I asked if I could have Solely as an emotional support Pokemon, and because they're understaffed, Gothitelle needs to watch to make sure I don't pull any funny business.
Oh, alright. I was a little concerned.
Because I'm a sweet kid, and I was allowed my partner Pokemon.
Right. What if that could convince him that Trevor could be an emotional support Pokemon?
Support rock.
He keeps me grounded.
They asked me questions about Sam.
Okay.
What? Yeah.
How did you get on that topic?
There was some other guy there who, like, I don't know. I think they got beef with Team Energy because they were asking about my parents. Yeah, he's like in a whole trench coat vibe.
So, did you talk about the house at all?
Oh, yeah.
Because it seems like it kind of got derailed in the discussion.
They found the Atlas Stone, and I told them that it was just a rock.
Oh, God.
Because it was in my bag.
Oh, I didn't even think about the Atlas Stone. Oh, God.
Yeah, no, but don't worry. I said that it was just a rock, and told them that it was very sentimental to me, because a friend of mine gave it to me on their deathbed.
Did they believe you?
Seems like it. She let me take Solely.
I guess so. I mean, you are a quote-unquote sweet kid.
It was great.
Yeah, you seem to have a pretty good time.
No, it was fine. They weren't even like that worried. Like, yes, they were worried about the house, but they seemed to have more questions about like other stuff, like how we became friends, etc.
So we just ran through
The whole
All
story.
back-
I
all
gave
backstory.
the whole story.
Okay.
I told her about Pablo. I told her
my
about
God.
Deoxys.
You told them about the. Oh my god.
Well, they asked if we had seen Sam, and I said the last time we saw her was when Deoxys attacked, and we saved the entire world from Deoxys.
Like, huh?
Yeah, that was kind of their response. So if you corroborate that, they might actually believe me.
Let's go to the room.
Let's do it.
You turned like just one right corner and you're automatically in this room. It seems like that there's not a whole lot of space in this particular building. What you see is a metal table that's rectangular. Lengthwise, there's 2 chairs on one end and 1 chair at the other. Delaney is already sitting at the far chair. She asks that you take a seat. Do you do so?
Yes.
Great. There's a chair next to yours. Clementine sits down. You see in the back right corner of the room, there is another chair, and there's a man sitting there. There's someone who's wearing kind of a brown trench coat and wearing a fedora, and he's kind of clouded in shadows, and he's holding a folder. Delaney's also holding a folder, and she says, "Do you have any questions before we begin?"
No, I think I'm good to go.
Delaney asks, "All right, what is your name?"
Elodie Gabina.
She asks, "What is your home city and region?"
It's in Lumio City, Kalos.
She says, "Very well. How did you meet Gimli, Schmidt, and Cindy?"
Yeah, good question. We all met each other in Lily Cove City during the summer festival. We all had just stuff stolen from us while we were hanging out at the festival, and we all just met up on the way to go retrieve our stuff.
She says,
And, that's how we met, pretty much.
and Delaney says, "Very well. Why do you travel together?"
Yeah, we get along real well. We trust each other. Just a good pack to be with.
She says, "Great. We've surveyed the Pokemon that are registered to your trainer ID. Is Alcremie your most powerful Pokemon?"
Yes, that is correct, I believe.
Delaney shuffles through this
guess-
folder. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say grape juice is level 11 and cabbage is 10, but cabbage is my most trusted partner, so.
Delaney continues to shuffle through this file. There's a bunch of papers in a folder that presumably have something to do with you. Delaney asks, "What is your ambition as a trainer?"
Okay. Yeah, good question. I guess my ambition as a trainer is to help other people, help my Pokemon achieve their potential, and yeah, really just want to help other people as much as I can.
Delaney takes some notes, and she tries to not express any emotion regarding your statement. She asks, "Regarding this incident in question, what is the cause of it?"
The cause of this incident?
Involving the
Since
Carpenter family when you arrived to Dewford Town.
To be honest, I really don't know exactly what happened. Magic. The Pokemon magic. Probably.
Roll a DC 10 deception.
That's a 10.
Okay, that's enough. Yeah, Delaney's taking notes. She's not entirely convinced that you're giving all the information, but you're not before a judge, so she's not going to press it. She asks, "When the incident occurred, where were you intending on traveling?"
Well, we were on a boat headed to Dewford.
She says, "Okay, very well. How did you meet Alex Carpenter?"
Yeah, we were on the ocean, actually traveling with a pack of Corsola, which was great. And we heard a voice of a child, that being Alex, and brought him on board. And yeah.
She says, "Thank you. What did Alex tell you when you met?"
Yeah, he had told us that he had been playing with ghost-type Pokemon, and something happened, and he ended up in the middle of the ocean.
She continues to take notes. She asks, "Do you have any previous relationship to the Carpenter family?"
No, I do not.
Great. Delaney pulls out the bag of everyone's belongings. She identifies a particular bag, and she asks, "Is this yours?" It is, in fact, yours.
Yes.
She reaches inside of it. Please roll a d12.
6.
Okay. She reaches inside your bag and she pulls out Sam's journal. She asks, "Can you tell me a bit about this?"
Yeah. Yeah, that belongs to one of our traveling companions, Sam. She are you familiar with anything that happened at Meteor Falls?
Delaney says, "I'm not at liberty to provide that information at this time. You're welcome to make an insight check."
Okay. 8?
8. You can't get a read. You don't know what she's saying, what she means by that. You do notice that your lawyer, Clementine Sawyer, is he has his arms folded kind of impatiently and like kind of frustrated, but he isn't like speaking up about anything.
Okay. Right.
When you mention the last thing that you just said, the man in the corner wearing the trench coat gets up and he hands a different folder to Delaney, and she opens it up, and she says, "This friend that you speak of, is their name Symmetra Redtree?"
Yes, that's correct.
Delaney asks, "Do you know where they are?"
No, I do not.
She says, "Okay, very well. And this belonged to her?"
It did, yes.
She says, she turns to talk to the man in the trench coat. Roll a perception.
That will be a 15.
Okay. You don't get all the words that they're being said, but you get the vibe that Delaney is asking, like, if going through the journal is something that is relevant to this case that Delaney is on. The man in the trench coat kind of like shakes his head no. He doesn't speak, but he does extend a hand, and Delaney gives the journal to him, and returns the folder that she was handed as well. She returns to your file. And Delaney says, "Just a few more questions for you, Ellie, all right?"
Sure.
Flips through your file. Roll a new perception check as she turns some pages.
19.
19. You see pretty clearly that in this file are photos of you, like government photos from Kalos, like maybe you're in school or you're at a job or something. Photos of your family, including your brother. And she hovers over a second on your brother, and she asks, "Is your brother named Victor Gabena?"
Yes, that's correct.
Delaney turns a few more pages. Roll one more perception check.
That was a nat 1.
Okay, great. You have no idea. Her finger stops on a page under a certain series of words, and you cannot read them. Delaney asks, "Do you know of Victor's current location?"
The last I was aware, he was in Gaylor.
Delaney says, "How long ago was that?"
Gosh.
For context, it's been a
Probably-
month or two since your journey started.
Yeah, probably a month or two ago.
Delaney says, "Okay, I believe that's it." And the man gets up and hands her one like half piece of paper. And she asks, roll one more perception. I lied. One more perception.
Okay, sure. 14.
Okay. They exchange some words, and Delaney seems like kind of confused / concerned, and the man in the trench coat just kind of nods. Delaney says, "Are you familiar with the legend of the Colossian Wandering King AZ?" And she shakes her head, and she's like, "I don't know." And the man in the trench coat just kind of nods. And Clementine actually speaks up, and he says, "Listen, we did this with the last interrogation. I don't know how this is relevant." And the man in the trench coat glares at Clementine, and he folds his arms again.
I mean, yes, I'm familiar with it.
The man in the trench coat writes a note, and Delaney says, "Well, that'll be all. We can get Gimli. He's our last one in here. Do you have any other questions or any information you'd like to volunteer that might be relevant to the case?"
Yeah, no, I think that's all that I know.
Roll just a general charisma.
Gotcha. 19?
19's great. Delaney appreciates your patience, and it feels apologetic for the confusion about the weird questions. And she says, "Listen, your friend Cindy, I asked if I could do anything for her, and she really wanted to see her partner. Is there anything of your belongings that I can offer you at this time?"
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if I could have Cabbage with me, that'd be great.
Delaney procures Cabbage's Pokeball and confirms that it is in fact Cabbage's and gives it to you.
Epic gaming moments.
Great.
I will take her out and
Cool.
give her a hug.
Yeah, you do just that. Cabbage is so happy to see you. hasn't actually been that long, but
Yeah, technically speaking, it hasn't been that long.
Cabbage is just pleased to hang out. And with that, Clementine will escort you past Gothatel, and you can return to your cell. Are you all done?
Yep.
Cool, let's do it.
Hello.
You all see, as Gothatel stands in the doorway, Clementine Sawyer returns with Elodie, and Elodie is joined by Cabbage, just kind of plopping along happily. And they return just to hang out. The cell doors are open, so they're not like, you don't have to be in there if you don't want, but you do have to be in this particular room. Clementine says, all right, Gimli, you're the last one. Are you ready?
Yep.
He says, all right, let's go. And he pulls you into the room next door.
So, how'd your interrogation go?
It went well. I gave them the whole story.
I gotta say, yours went a little bit longer than mine, I thought.
I went from Pablo all the way to where we are now.
Please don't tell me you told them about Deoxys.
Oh, I had to. They asked about Sam.
We're not
They
supposed
didn't
to tell
believe me.
anything about Deoxys.
Oh shit, they didn't believe me. They thought I was just some sweet little kid. It's like, very cute.
Okay, good thing they didn't believe you, because I don't think anybody's supposed to know about that.
Well, they asked about Sam, and they're like, when was the last time you saw her? And I was like, when she got obliterated. And then we
They
saved
asked
the
me
world.
too. They asked me too, and I was just like, are you familiar with Meteor Falls? And they didn't say anything. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, oh shit, like if they ask me about it, I can't say anything about Deoxys. So I kept my mouth shut after that, and thankfully they didn't ask.
They asked about my parents.
Yeah, they asked about my brother. I don't know what that's about. Maybe he's up to no good.
Uh-oh. They asked about the Atlas Stone, but I was able to convince them that it was just a rock.
Good, yeah. That would not have been good. They did take Sam's journal. I don't know if they're actually going to go through it. Hopefully not, but I don't think it has anything incriminating in there.
Maybe they'll look at the picture that gives people headaches.
Oh, true! I should have warned them about that.
That's
Or
their
not.
problem.
That's their problem now. But yeah,
Um,
she doesn't know about the ring, so...
Good. And I didn't tell her about the ring. I just said we picked up kid, saved his life, and boom, we were in a house. Oh, I convinced them that the Atlas Stone was just a rock, and it was very sentimental to me because an old friend gave it to me on their deathbed.
That's so true, though. Like,
It is so true.
that's not even a lie.
Yeah. I totally forgot we weren't supposed to tell anybody about Deoxys. I didn't say Deoxys was still there. I just said we saved the world from Deoxys. Which is true.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I think, yeah, if they don't know that it's still there,
Yeah.
yeah, it's probably fine.
We saved the world. And we saved Pablo. I told them about Pablo because they asked how we met. So I told them the whole story about how we met and my grandparents were taken.
Oh, I was very brief. I was just like, yeah, we all got our shit stolen. So we met trying to get it back, and that was it. And they were like, okay.
Oh, yeah, and they're like, why do you still hang out? It's like, I'm a loose child.
You're a loose child. I was like, we just vibe for real. The vibes
That's
are
what you
good.
said. You said we vibe.
I didn't say that exactly, but
No, I said verbatim, I am a loose child.
I'm a loose child. I need protection.
Just
I think
an
honestly,
adult figure.
Other people need protection from you, I think, is really...
They don't know that. Do you think they'll give Sam's journal back after they like go through it or whatever?
Hopefully. I didn't say anything, but if they don't think it's important, then I have to imagine they would. And yeah, again, like I said, I don't think there's really anything in there besides her blood that I think...
Hello.
Whoa.
So, a very small building, not many rooms in this hallway. You pretty much just take an immediate right, and you are in a small room that is lit by a single dangling lamp from the ceiling, and there's a rectangular table. At one end of the table, there is Delaney sitting with a bunch of paperwork, and there are two chairs at the other end, and Delaney invites you to sit. Do you do so?
Of course.
Great. Clementine sits right next to you. You see on the wall to your left, there is a large rectangular mirror, and in the back right corner of the room, there is a man who is kind of cloaked in shadow, who is wearing a long brown trench coat and wearing a fedora. You can't quite make out his face. Delaney says, are you ready?
Of course.
He says, great. What is your name?
Gimli Lodestone.
Delaney says, what is your home city and region?
I am from Konolov City in the Sinnoh region.
Delaney asks, how did you meet Elodie, Schmidt, and Cindy?
Mostly happenstance. We were in oh my god, what's the opening city we were in? I keep forgetting.
Lily Cove City Summer Festival.
Yeah, we were in Lily Cove Summer Festival. Yeah. We were in the Lily Cove Summer Festival, and Team Energy attacked the city, and we were kind of thrown into the chaos. And from there, we just ended up all in the same circumstance and started adventuring together.
Delaney takes some notes and shuffles through your files. She asks, so why do you travel together?
We travel together because we're all looking for people and we're all affected by NRG. So when we were traveling together, we were told one of the only ways we can really leave the country, for most of us being foreign from here, except for Cindy, we would have to get gym badges in order to do so. So we started venturing to do that, started running into NRG in the meantime, and it's just safer to travel in numbers, especially with like-minded people.
As you mentioned, NRG, the man in the corner of the room hands a different folder to Delaney. Roll a perception check.
Not great. 11.
11. You know that they exchanged some words, and Delaney seems like kind of confused. And she sets the file that she was handed underneath yours that she's currently going through.
Mm-hmm.
She asks, what is your ambition as a trainer?
I don't really have an ambition as a trainer. This has been mostly a means to an end. I'm looking for my son. That's the only reason I'm in the country in the first place. So, he is a trainer, so I figured if you follow the path of a trainer, you'll probably be met with other trainers, so.
She flips through your file, and she stops at a certain point, and she says, Jim Lee Lodestone's your son, correct?
That's correct, yes.
She says, all right. We surveyed the Pokemon that are registered to your trainer ID. Is Gigalith your most powerful Pokemon?
I would say Trevor is, yeah.
She says, very well. Let's move on to the case at hand. What caused the incident?
So I was working the ship at the time. We were getting carted along by Corsola that we crashed into on the way in, where we were trying to get to Dewford in the first place because we were told to come, look for my son down here. So, I was fixing up with the ship, and suddenly, I forgot about the boy. While I was fixing the ship, I noticed that we picked up a boy from the ocean, which was shocking to me to begin with. But I was too busy handling the ropes to go address him, and the gang was handling it just fine. And they were talking to the boy, and then suddenly, the boat was, I think, taken through some kind of portal, and we ended up crashing into the house. I don't know how the portal spawned again. I was handling the ship, so I can't really say if something happened, but the boat just crashed into what appeared to be a house, and we were here, and I found myself waking up in a pile of debris and having to dig people out, so I can't really say what happened outside of that.
Delaney is writing notes, and she says, very well, thank you. Apologies if you mentioned this already, but just to clarify, when the incident occurred, where were you intending on traveling?
Dewford. Here.
She says, great. She says, how did you meet Alex Carpenter? If you could give any more specifics.
Is that the boy?
She says, yes, that is the boy in the incident.
Like I said, I think the gang picked him out from the ocean. I don't know the details of that, because, quite frankly, I was handling the ship. That's what I was in charge of on the travel. So I don't really know much about the boy. I think when I was discussing with my colleagues, they said something about ghosts picking him up and taking him out to the ocean, which, again, I don't know anything about that, but I don't think it's unreasonable to know ghost Pokemon will put pranks on people, so seems pretty believable to me.
Delaney nods and scribbles some notes. She asks, do you have any previous relationship to the Carpenter family?
No, I just met them with the crash, unfortunately. They seem like lovely people, but...
She folds your file, and she reaches into the bag that Brandon collected everyone's belongings in. Please roll a d12.
1.
That's fun.
That's fun.
It's just a table, so it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Delaney pulls out the PokeLink, the PC box link that you received in your adventures. She asks, can you tell me a little bit about this device?
Yeah, that was given to us from, again, you're gonna have to jog my memory on this. What was her name?
Lynette.
A Pokemon researcher named Lynette. She gave us the PokeLink as like an experimental thing. Apparently, it just functions like the normal PC we're used to, but it allows us to kind of swap Pokemon wherever is, she said, viable. So I guess it's like some places it doesn't get signal or something.
She says, "Oh, interesting, a prototype. Nice."
Yeah, it's a prototype. We're testing it for her to collect some experimental data. It's been very useful. We can just swap Pokemon whenever we feel like it, and as trainers that are still getting our badges, we do have a limited party of Pokemon, and I have quite a few through our adventures here, so it's really nice to just be able to switch.
She seems not skeptical of your response. She now opens the folder that was handed to her, and at this point, Clementine speaks up, and he says, "Are you sure we gotta? I feel like we got all the info we needed." And the man in the corner reaches for a bifold wallet that he has in his chest pocket, and Clementine says, "No, okay, I get it. It's fine." And Delaney kind of hesitantly looks at this folder that was handed to her. She flips through it. Please roll a perception check.
12.
Okay, you see there's some photographs, there's some words, there's like some newspaper articles, and there's some symbols that you don't particularly recognize. You didn't quite roll high enough to get any more information than that, but it seems weird.
Okay.
She asks to you, she says, "Have you met or otherwise interacted with Hoenn gym leader Watson?"
Yeah, we've encountered Watson, and we also competed in his gym challenge, so.
Delaney asks, "Did he tell you anything interesting or out of the ordinary?"
In what sense? I don't know what you would. I find things out of the ordinary to be maybe a little bit different than you, so you might need to be more specific.
She turns to look at the man behind her to her left, and he just shakes his head no. And she turns around and she says, "It's fine, doesn't matter." Delaney turns to another point in the file, and she asks, "Do you know someone by the name of Symmetra Redtree?"
Yeah, Sam. We were traveling with her for a while before she was taken away by what appeared to be a very powerful Alakazam after we encountered Deoxys. I know that's a lot to take in. I don't know if any of my colleagues mentioned Deoxys, but we did have an encounter with it.
Please roll just a straight charisma check.
That is a 14.
Okay. You see that they seem to believe you to an extent. And both Delaney and the strange man are taking notes. For the first time,
Okay.
the man in the corner is writing things down. Delaney asks, "Do you know where Symmetra currently is?"
No. We might have a general idea of direction, but we have no idea at all.
Okay. You see that Clementine has his arms crossed and he doesn't look happy, but he is compliant for some reason, for something. Delaney asks, "Do you have any other information that you'd like to volunteer that may be relevant to the case?" as she closes the file.
I mean, I've provided everything I can, so I can't really speak on anything otherwise.
She says, "Well, I've offered this to your friends. They were very compliant, as were you, and I would like to ask you if there's anything of your belongings that you would like to have at this moment while we wait and process this information and set up your trial."
I would probably just like to have Trevor. I saw that everyone was taking their partners, and I would love to see mine.
Delaney says, "Very well. That's perfectly fine." And she pulls out Trevor's Pokeball. You do recognize it, and it is in your possession. You may re-add it to your inventory if you so wish. And Clementine gets up and he says, "Well, that's about it. I guess we're done then." And Delaney says, "Yeah, that'll be fine. I'm going to speak with our judge." Delaney says, "First, we will determine bail. We'll have that for you before the end of the day. And then we will reconvene tomorrow for a proper arrangement and a plea and a trial."
Sounds good.
Delaney stands up and leaves to a different building, a different room, and Clementine and you are escorted back to the holding cell.
Okay.
Great.
Can I, on the way back, can I speak to Clementine first?
Like privately?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Do you want it privately, like even without your party members?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you are able to do that.
Okay. So, couldn't help but notice, but you seemed rather cross with them. Was everything all right?
Clementine says, "Yeah, it's fine. It's not a big deal. They're not doing anything wrong. It's just
I just noticed they were asking about things that weren't case relevant. Not that I don't feel willing to comply, and it didn't seem wrong to do so because it's just fine information, but it seemed really irrelevant.
Clementine kind of gets real close to you to make sure that no one else can hear.
Right.
And he says, listen, there's not much I can do when the chief of the international police is in the room with me. I hope you understand.
I completely understand. I thought he was somewhat important that he was handing folders around, so I completely.
Clementine says, if it's relevant to the case that I'm here for, then more power to him. If it's relevant for something that is out of my pay grade, can't really say no.
Yeah, I mean, totally fair, because I was like, that's definitely not relevant to the case, but if he wants to know more, I'm not willing to not share, so.
Do you have any further questions for Clementine?
I wanted to ask you, after this is all said and done, I know you take really good care of Shuckles. I was wondering if you were interested in holding on to mine for a little while, Lizzie. She just likes to stretch her legs and stuff, and I think she could use a little bit of joy, and you just such good enthusiasm that I would love for you to hold on to her for a little while, if that would be all right with you.
I didn't expect that. I would say, make a roll, but, no, Clementine's fucking down. He says, sure.
You've just been so good to us. I figured this would be good for you, and it'll be good for Lizzie, so.
Clementine says, you must be joking. You can't be serious.
No, you just have been such a big help for us, and honest, like I said, Lizzie just deserves, a little bit of pamperment, and I think you would take great care of her for a little while, so.
He is moved to tears. He is so delighted with this. And he puts his hand on your shoulder and he says, I'm going to show you the best damn DeLorean you've ever seen. And he is very happy and proud and excited.
I appreciate you, sir. You've been so good to us.
He says, it's all my pleasure. And with that, you're welcome to reunite if you wish.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Oh, just in time.
All right.
Jeez.
The gang.
What's going on here?
When you come back, Elodie and Cindy have cleaned
acquired
the
a
mess.
mop.
What?
Throw up.
How'd you get a mop?
We decided to DM for you.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Elodie rolled a 21 for investigation, and we found a mop.
you self-DM'd?
Yeah.
Self-DM.
That's great. No, that's good. That's good.
So
You guys
I
are
also
funny.
self-DM'd Cindy eating more cake and rolled a 4 on that con check, so she's
Maybe
not
threw up
feeling
again.
good.
Oh man, that's
awesome.
a classic kid thing. That's great. It is at this moment that it appears the interrogations are done. Delaney and the strange man who's accompanying her are leaving the building, but Gothitelle stands in the door. Clementine says, "Did they say when they're going to let you out of here?"
Did they tell you?
And Clementine says, "Wait, hold up!" And he shouts out to Delaney, and she turns around and she says, "Oh, right. We're if you don't notice that we're a pretty small staff in this little town, and one of our best interns quit yesterday, so we're a little short-handed. Tell you what, I trust my partner here." And she slaps her hand on the back of Gothitelle, and she says, "If you so wish, you're welcome to." Explore Duford Town, spend some money, help our economy a little bit. Just don't get into any trouble. Gothitelle will tell me right away, and we'll get in touch tomorrow about the arrangement of the trial.
Yeah.
All of
Do
our
we have
things?
money?
Because if you have our
We
stuff,
only have our
we don't
partner
have our
Pokemon.
money.
We don't have money.
Delaney thinks for a bit. She says, "Well, you're trainers. You can win some battles, right? Just go challenge the gym. You're fine."
The fuck?
with
win.
only our
Just
partner
win the money.
Pokemon.
Delaney says, okay, yeah, you're right. And she holds out all of your Pokeballs that all of you have. And she says, "You're welcome to take as many as your gym badges allow you," which I believe is 5. And
Wouldn't it be easier to just give us our money? I mean, not that I don't want our partner Pokemon, but I feel like this is really backwards way of setting up
roll
a
a
gym
persuasion.
sports.
Roll a persuasion.
14.
14's
Yeah.
high enough. She says, she sighs and she says, "Yeah, it's in a different safe. Let me get it for you." And she leaves your balls there in front of Gothitelle. And she goes to retrieve your money. Gothitelle's weird, dude. It's given weird vibes. but it doesn't have any facial expressions really. It just
Right.
is kind of staring at everyone like all the time. Kind of creepy. But it is at this moment that each of you can choose 4 additional Pokemon if you wish to have them. None of them are in the PC. The police must have done something where they are all like in this containment kind of. So you have access to everything if you so wish to choose some Mons.
So I'm gonna take Lizzie's Pokeball and hand it to Clementine,
Okay, you do that.
and then I'm going to like I know we're still doing this right now, but when you take her back, take good care of her.
He sheds a tear and he says, "Thank you."
And then I'm gonna take Trevor.
Mhm.
I'm gonna take Bean,
Mhm.
Lasagna,
Okay.
and do I want to get one more? And it's not Brigalab this time, even though he's Gym Challenge MVP. I think we're gonna work with David.
Cool. All right. Just to suspend the disbelief a bit, we will suggest that when you hand Liz's Pokeball to Clementine, that there is a mechanical recognition that it is your trainer ID, but not registered to you currently. Is that fair?
That's fair.
I don't want to deal with the bullshit of like figuring that out. So,
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Gimli claims his Pokeballs, and the rest of them are all teleported away into the PC. Who's next?
So I have Soli. I'm gonna grab Cookie, Fang, Jack, and Larvastar. So we're gonna leave Izzy for now.
Okay. You do that. Izzy gets into cyberspace. Of course, you know what's next, Elodie.
Yes. I shall grab. I already have cabbage. I will grab bubblegum, grape juice, key lime, and aubergine.
Great. Blueberry gets warped into cyberspace as per usual.
Sorry, blueberry.
Were there other
Sorry,
mons? It's just blueberry, right?
It's just blueberry.
Yeah, so sad. It's fine. Blueberry's a trooper. Delaney returns with money. She says, "Hope you understand this has to go in a separate safe." And she doles it out to everyone so you can consider all of your money. Delaney shares a moment with her Gothitelle, just like a mental thing. And Delaney says, "Oh, sure." And she reaches into the bag and she hands Elodie the egg incubator. She says, "Gothitelle thinks that you might need this, so we can let you have it."
Thank you.
Delaney says,
Appreciate.
for a couple reasons. One being good behavior, and 2 because we have some new reports and new calls, and we need our 3 jail cells back. We've arranged for you to be able to stay in the hostel overnight, if you so wish, at the Pokemon Center. And you have been granted amnesty of the island. You can go wherever you like, as long as it's not to Granite Cave or beyond to the north, and not into the forest to the south. And beyond that, you have the whole range of the town, if you so wish.
Great.
Delaney, one more time, says, "Thank you for your patience with this investigation. Our small town doesn't have big events like this very often, so we appreciate your compliance, and we look forward to offering you a speedy trial, and you can get back on your way soon."
And can we help rebuild the house?
Delaney says, "We can discuss that with the judge at our trial tomorrow."
Okay.
Delaney says, "I'll escort you out. I kind of have to, so you can come with me."
Oh, great, yeah.
And she gets you outside to Duford Town. It's like in the afternoon. It's a sunny day on the beach. People are running around, running errands. It does seem like it might be a weekend, or just maybe in this island town they just don't do a whole lot of stuff. There's a poster that you can see just like on the door of the Pokemon Center that has some text that says, "You're never too old to be an adventurer," and has a bunch of dates on it. Something's happening. Who knows? It's involving that. People are looking at it and they're like, "Wow," and they're all really excited.
I feel like I said that last night.
You're all in Duford Town. I don't know if there's anything else you wish to do. Just want to check in real quick. Is there any little last minute things you want to take care of?
I think the first thing I want to do is be on my way to see if Schmidt's okay.
Great.
Yeah.
To the hospital.
Okay. You check in with the human hospital that is adjacent to the Pokemon Center, asking about Schmidt. I'm assuming you all kind of rush the counter. What do you say?
Is Schmidt okay? So sorry.
The receptionist says, and there's like people in the waiting room that are just kind of hanging out, and they say, Schmidt, how do you all know Schmidt? Are you family?
We were traveling
the
with
closest.
We're like a
thing
family.
To family. He's the closest thing to family I have right now.
Oh my god.
My grandparents were taken.
Oh my god, jeez. Going all in on.
Roll. Cindy can roll a persuasion.
It's a 4.
Okay. They don't buy the tears. The receptionist says, "Well, we have a one visitor policy, and it has to be family, and they have a family member here currently. I can give you some information on their condition, but they can't be seen right now. They're entering surgery very soon."
Wait, they have a family member here?
The receptionist looks down at her monitor, and she flips through, and she says, "Yeah, they have a relative. I can't specify who."
Okay.
Huh.
Is his grandfather?
Is it
Did
Walker?
Walker?
come down here?
Is it Walker?
It would have to be Walker, or is
Yeah.
Whitney here?
Did Whitney get
Well,
here?
she couldn't have traveled across the region because the region.
That's what I'm thinking, but
Also, Johto's like in shambles right now. Maybe.
Yeah.
so it probably is Walker. Okay.
The receptionist asks, "Is there anything else I can do for you?"
Well, you said you could update us on his status, can't you?
She says, "Yes, within the Hoenn clauses of medical conditions, I can give you an update." And she flips through and she presses a button, and she's like reading a script, a text, something perhaps is translating her chart that she has for Schmidt into things that she can communicate to people. The receptionist eyes it over, and she says, "Schmidt is in stable condition. He is undergoing a major surgery. The outcome looks good, and he should be released later tonight." That's all I can
He's
give.
undergoing a major surgery.
Let him know we're staying at the hostel.
The receptionist writes on a sticky note, and she says, "I'll do my best to get this to one of his nurses."
Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
She says, "Of course." Is that all for the human hospital?
Have you happened to see an Altaria? It's like a fluffy blue and white bird Pokemon.
She's going to make a roll. She says, "No, I haven't seen one of those. Sorry."
Okay.
Are you all done at the hospital?
I think so.
Is anyone else here we recognize?
Like in the waiting room area?
Yeah.
Roll a perception.
9.
9. Okay. Nope. No one you recognize. You do notice that as you like turn around to look around the room, the three of you who are like standing in a line, you turn around and Gothitelle is like right behind you. Like,
Oh my God.
your nose like scrapes her body as like you turn around, and she's just looking at you with a very vacant Blake expression.
Wow, we couldn't do anything even if we wanted to.
How's it going?
Do you say this to
All right.
Gothitelle?
Mm-hmm.
Roll charisma.
23.
Okay. That's very good because Gothitelle just stares at you. And nothing
love
bad
it.
happens to you.
Nothing bad.
Anything else for your afternoon in Duford Town at the moment?
Yeah, checked on Schmidt. So
Amart.
yeah, what we town session right now.
Yeah, I think maybe we will save that for another time, perhaps. Hello, and thank you for listening to the 64th episode of Dunsparce and Drampa. Extra special thanks to our latest patrons being Dan and Matthew. Thanks to our patrons, we've been able to produce this podcast for just about 2 years now, and for that we are so very grateful. We have the link to our Patreon as well as many other fun links, including our Discord, Twitter, and merch store at linktr.ee/Dunsparce. That's linktree/Dunsparce. The next episode will be releasing on July 4th. Thank you so much for your support. We'll see you then. Your vision fades. Your eyes reopen, and it's a sunny weekend afternoon on Route 34 of the Johto region, just south of glistening Goldenrod City. It's a Saturday, and you have the weekend off from school. You're eagerly running down towards Ilex Forest, the mysterious and sacred woods that separates Goldenrod from Azalea Town. A whimsical pink bulldog creature leaps from the grass and chomps at your ankles, playfully, narrowly missing your brand new white and sky blue shoes that your mom bought you for you yesterday. Pink and green cottonweed Pokemon are floating northwards in the sea breeze, contrasting the perfectly blue sky. The eccentric elderly couple who runs the daycare shouts out to you in friendly recognition. Slow down, Schmidt. You might trip if you're not careful. With smiles on their faces. Why is Schmidt running to Ilex Forest?
Dog, what? I don't know. You know what? Let's just say he was just trying to like get away from home. Like he wanted to get away from like the gym leader situation, so he's just going.
Yeah, that's fair. This is probably either the closest and or the most interesting natural space that's outside of the urban city. So,
dude, ooh, that was an 18.
18's pretty high. Schmidt sees out of the corner of his eye just like an incredibly quickly moving flash of bright green light. And then as he refocuses his attention after being distracted by that, it is now evening in Ilex Forest. Even though the cloud or the tree cover is immense, he can peer up through the branches and see that it's probably dinner time, that he probably needs to start going home.
Mom is so going to kill me.
Are you going to head home?
Yeah.